لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين نبينا وشفيعنا وطبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أعداء الدين أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في كلامه المجيد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Book of Quran that those who have negated Allah, kafaru, Sawa'un alayhim, it's equal to you, for you. You tell them or scare them of Jahannam, or you tell them the good tidings of Jannah, it doesn't matter. The preaching of the Prophet doesn't matter for those who haven't submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat wa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So what was the topic we left yesterday? There was a topic I was going to start. Yes? Yes, come on. You just forgot. Okay. When you remember, raise your hand and I'll stop and I'll ask you again. Don't worry. You forget, I also sometimes forget and I ask you. What was the topic that we stopped and where we were to carry on today? Salawat wa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. One day I had a lecture in Imam Barda in New York. And after that, the guy came, Moulana, this was a wonderful lecture. I loved it. It's the best one. I was just jumping on my seat and I asked him a question, which point did you like? He said, Moulana, well, whole of the lecture. I said, give me one point. Sometimes we do listen to the lectures and we do like it. But the reality is that we need to absorb it. And these questions are just for the sake that we are listening. I conveyed on the very first day that take these lectures, take these majalis, take this Muharram as a university. Take it as a hospital. We come here to cure ourselves. I don't need to tell others about what deficiencies I've got in my body, in my soul, in my thoughts. I need to cure myself. Why? I want to prepare for the last Hussain to come, the last Muhammad to come. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Preparation, not a matter of sawab. Sawab, it's a bonus. We are not looking for sawab. Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wa salam said, Allah, I don't worship you for the sake of, because I'm scared of Jahannam, because that's an ibadah of a scared person. I don't worship you for the sake of Jannah, that's an ibadah of a greedy person. I worship you because you deserve to be worshipped. So, this ibadah, everything will continue. Sawab, it will follow us. We don't care for sawab. We want to be with Hussain. The followers of Hussain who were in Karbala, if they would not have been killed there, even suppose they were not killed, that 72 or more companions of Imam Hussain, even then they would have been on the highest grade of Jannah because of their piety, because of their ibadah, because of the level of their understanding and marifat of Allah and Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. They would have been in Jannah, but they didn't want Jannah. They didn't want Jannah. In Karbala, we find three types of Shias. I'm not talking about the followers of Yazid. I'm talking about the followers of Imam Hussain, but three types. One were for whom Imam Hussain switched off the candles and said, I relieve you from my bay'ah. Your allegiance that you have paid to me, I relieve you from that. Number one. Number two, I give you the good news of going to Jannah also. And then after telling them these two things, he said, whosoever wants to go, you can go. And Zakirs don't tell, but too many people left Imam Hussain. When the candles were extinguished, some people left Imam Hussain. Jannah, Imam Hussain has said, so that's definite. We are relieved from the bay'at. So why do we need to kill ourselves? These were the followers of Imam Hussain who were following Imam Hussain for the sake of Jannah. Then, when Imam Hussain is extinguishing the candles, that means Imam Hussain has got enough number of people with him. But we see, there were certain people when they tried to join Imam Hussain never stopped them from that. For example, say, Wahb bin Abdullah Kalbi wanted to join, Imam Hussain allowed him to join. Hur wanted to join, Imam Hussain allowed him to join. These were the second category of the people. They didn't want Jannah. They wanted to be beside Imam Hussain in the mission of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. This was the second category. And what was the third category? For whom Imam Hussain writes down a letter, Oh Habib, come down to Karbala, I am alone. Now it depends on us. We are here. We want to be the follower of Imam Hussain for the sake of Jannah, or we want to be the followers of Imam Hussain in the mission of Imam Hussain, or we want to be that type of follower of Imam Hussain where Imam Hussain will get, let him come, he's my follower. Nobody can stop him from coming to Jannah. All depend on us. Salawat wa Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Brothers or sisters, everyone, you are more respectable than myself. But we need to achieve something in these 12 days. Not just distilling. Yes, Fazail, they are very much a source of inspiration for us. The Masaib, they give us power and energy to be in Ghadir and be in Karbala. Ghadir is not finished. Ghadir, we have to pay allegiance to Imam Ali. This is Prophet every day. In all of the Muharram, the Prophet is saying, asking us, don't I have more right on you, on yourself, than your own self? And we say, yes. Then a Prophet is saying, Man kuntu mawlahu, fahaza aliyun mawlahu. Imam Ali. We say Mawla Ali. But what does Mawla mean? We need to understand. Mawla is different than what we say. See, we all say Nara Haidari. Do we say here in this center? How do we say that? Not a scatter, a proper Nara Haidari.
Nara Haidari!
It has got a sawab. I've got a question for you now. This Nara Haidari has got a sawab. Now this was Nara Haidari here we said, and a Nara Haidari used to be said at the time of Hujjaj bin Yusuf. Which Nara Haidari has more sawab? Yes? I'll say I've got 2 rakat Fajr prayers today, and I've prayed 2 rakat Fajr prayers 5 years later. Which has got more sawab? Huh? Confused हो गए ना? हमारा काम ही है आपको confuse कर देना. और फिर डिप्रेशन का शिकार कर देना आप लोगों को. आप लोगों ने confuse नहीं होना, मैंने confuse करना है. मैं कह रहा हूँ 2 रकत नमाज आज पढ़ी और 2 रकत नमाज आपने 5 साल पहले पढ़ी थी. किसका सवाब ज्यादा है? कौन सी 2 रकत फजर की नमाज? बराबर है. मैं कहता हूँ आज हमने नारा हैदरी लगाया और हुज्जाज बिन यूसुफ के दौर में भी नारा हैदरी लगाया. उसका सवाब ज्यादा है या आज का सवाब ज्यादा है या दोनों का बराबर है?
उसका सवाब ज्यादा है.
क्यों? नारा हैदरी तो वो भी था नारा हैदरी. हाँ, यहाँ पे नारा हैदरी लगाए. Today you say Nara Haidari. Everybody say this is the name which matches Nara. नारे को मैच ही अली का नाम करता है और कोई नाम मैच ही नहीं करता जैसे मेरे मौला का नाम. लेकिन उस दौर में जब कोई नारा हैदरी लगाता या अली कहता था ना, तो अली की या बाद में निकलती थी, सर पहले अलग हो जाता था. दुरुस्त है. आज क्या है, मौला की ज़ियारत इस तरह नहीं होती थी कि यहाँ से टिकट कटाया और जाके चले गए, मौला का बुलावा आ गया. मुझे कह रहे थे मौला का बुलावा आया, इमाम की ज़ियारत. मैंने कहा भाई मेरा क्या कसूर है, मेरा बुलावा क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? आपका बुलावा आ गया. बुलावा कोई नहीं, मेरी जेब में पैसा है, मैं जाके टिकट कटवा के चला जाता हूँ, जाके ज़ियारत करके आ जाता हूँ. बुलावे का मतलब नहीं, ज़ियारत आखिरी काम नहीं है, अंजाम नहीं है. दिस नॉट द एंड स्टोरी. Doing ziyarat is a starting point. It's not the end point. मैं ziyarat करके आगे मेरी जिम्मेदारी बढ़ गई है. मौला की जरी को मैंने हाथ लगा लिया तो मेरी बयात है इमाम के साथ. फिर मेरा उठना बैठना चलना फिरना. फिर मैं कहता हूँ बात थोड़ी इंग्लिश उर्दू मिक्स चलेगी. जियारत करने सारी दुनिया जाती है, जियारत कोई कोई करके आता है. समझिए, जियारत करना और है, जियारत के लिए जाना और हुआ करता है. So Imam Ali, when we say Nara Haidari today, is a different thing. You go to Hyde Park corner, you say Nara Haidari, even the people here don't know Imam Ali. They will also start raising the slogans for Imam Ali. But on that day, people used to get killed. People used to go for the ziyarat of Imam. How? Nobody was allowed. People were allowed if they would allow them to cut their left hand, then they could do ziyarat. And people used to do ziyarat at that time. People used to go next time the other hand used to be chopped off. Then their legs used to be chopped off for the ziyarat, for the sake of going and touching the zari of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. So if we want to get the sawab of Nara Haidari at the time of Hujjaj bin Yusuf, we need to do more. Today we can do Nara is nothing. Nara is a starting point. From here we need to move forward. We need to bring a change within ourselves. We need to become the followers of Misam al-Tammar. We need to become the follower of Abu Zar and Salman. This is what is required today. Salawat bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. What type of Shia we want to become? 3 types, I said. Remember that because I'll ask you now. Because usually I forget what I say. So I ask you later on, especially the younger generation with the beautiful sparkling eyes. And they've got a better memory than myself, and they will let me know because they will not let me down. I told them to come close to me, they came close to me. So they are all my friends. And the other one I am preaching to you. Okay? Salawat bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So the topic today, what I said yesterday, and I said if you are tired, say a loud salawat, and I heard a loud salawat and I cancel, I said okay, we'll see you tomorrow then. That was the topic of submission. When we see the signs of Allah around us, when we see the signs of Allah within ourselves, our heart pumping blood, our mind sending signals, we being taught by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on every step we see the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can't see Him, we can't touch Him, we can't taste Him, we can't hear directly from Him, but we have got the signs of Allah around us. When we see the signs, we come to the conclusion that there is a creator in the universe. One. And this being Him, the creator, then it tells us that He is the only infinite being in the universe. Laysa kamislihi shay. Laysa kamislihi shay. Once we were on Hajj, and we were in a hurry to offer Zohr prayer. The time was getting low and the sun was going to set, and we were in a hurry, and the tawaf we had to do, so we were late already. So we started praying there. So while we were praying, we had a group along with me, and when we were praying, there came people from what we call them Kalma repair party. You know, Kalma theek kar dena, they came down. And they started asking questions. Oh, why are you praying with open hands? And they said, wait, Maulana, when he finishes, he'll let you know. So he stopped there. He came down, and when finished, Said, why do you pray with open hands? I said, whom do you follow in fiqh? They said, we follow Imam Malik. Well, I said, I follow Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. Oh, you are Shia. I said, I don't claim to be a Shia, but I'm trying to be a follower of Ahlul Bayt. Trying to be. Shia is a very high thing, you know. If we are just muhibb of Ahlul Bayt, that's a very high grade. That too many needs and requirements that are required from a muhibb of Ahlul Bayt, leaving aside the Shia of Ahlul Bayt. He said, well, I've got too many questions. Why do you prostrate to a clay thing? Why do you do mutara? Why do you do this thing and that thing? And 100 questions. I said, brother, listen, we are in a hurry. And if I start answering your questions, we won't be able to do tawaf in time. And we have got a group. No, it's very important. We need to understand these things and we need to answer these things. Now he raised a situation. He had about 10, 15 students along with him. And he made a situation where he was telling his students that we are going to run away from him. We are like escaping the situation. So it became wajib on us to answer him. I said, well, come on, let's sit down. I'll answer you first, then we'll see tawaf and then we'll see the other things. He said, we want to know about your faith. I said, listen, these questions are too many. Let's start from the top. The aim and objective of any school of thought is to create a link between the creation and the creator. He said, yes, okay. So let's start from Tawheed. He said, Tawheed? He said, yes. He said, what's your Tawheed? He said, we believe in Allah. He said, I also believe in Allah. He said, we say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wahdahu la sharika lah. I said, we also say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wahdahu la sharika lah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. So we are on the same page. He said, well, okay, what next? I said, what type of Allah you have got? Is your Allah and my Allah the same, or we have got different Allah? He said, our Allah is laysa kamithlihi shay. There's nothing like him. He's unique. He said, I said, my Allah is also laysa kamithlihi shay. There is nothing like Allah. He's unique. He said, well, the third question I raised was that your Allah, what type of Allah you have got? Like in Quran, it is said, Yadullahu fawqa aydihim, the hand of Allah is above their hand. And Allah in Bukhari Sharif, there we've got a hadith where it said that on Day of Judgment, Allah, the Jannah will say, and Jahannam will say, the hellfire will say, Hal min mazid, are there more? And Allah will put his leg. So Allah have got hand, and what figure Allah have got? He said, yes, Allah have got hand, Allah have got feet, Allah have got legs, and this and that. I said, here we differ. My Allah don't have legs and feet. He said, wow, how is it possible? I said, because that means Allah has got a body. And no body can be formed without a limit. And my Allah is infinite. And a limited body cannot possess infinite life, infinite power, infinite knowledge, infinite blessing. Nothing can be possessed by a limited body. So here we differ. My Allah is infinite and your Allah is limited. That's why we have got a difference. And students started laughing at him and he said, well, actually, I'm getting late. I said, no, I've got still 5 more minutes. We can sit down. So this is the thing, Tawheed we need to work on. And the most rich subject of the school of thought of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam is Tawheed. The details of belief in Allah. When we see the signs of Allah around us, when we see the signs of Allah within ourselves, in our life, in the blink of our eyes, in what we hear, in what we taste, in all these things which Allah has blessed us with, I would just discuss one small point and then we'll move forward to the main lecture. That, you know, if I want to grab something, I, for example, want to grab this glass of water, see what I'm doing. Watch. What I do? What I did, picked up the glass of water, tilted it, and drank some water out of it. In reality, how many actions I have done? 3. First of all, I ordered myself that I'm thirsty, I need water. My head turned, my eyes watched, the glass of water is lying here. Then my brain, my mind, ordered my muscles to stretch up. My shoulder muscles, my arms, my hands, fingers, they stretched in a way that they reach the glass and grab it. Then the order was passed to not to use excess force on the glass, that it smashes down, and not to lose force, that it falls down. Exactly the same force was applied on it. It was brought with that weight lifted, brought to my mouth, tilted to an extent where I could drink water and put it back. All these orders passed from my brain to my body and acted upon within seconds. Am I right?
Yes.
In Sharia, what do we call it? In Sharia language, we call it kun fayakun. Do, be, and becomes. I didn't plan. I didn't think of it. I wasn't thinking. I just do like this, you know. I'm not thinking. It's not that I think, then I calculate, and then I apply. I'm just thinking, and in the blink, that same thing is happening. This is kun fayakun. This power Allah has given me on my body of kun fayakun. You say do and it becomes. My hands, my feet, my eyes, my ears, my tongue, my words, everything, just within a blink of an eye, less than blink of an eye, what I order myself, this body is obedient to me. It's kun fayakun. So Allah is saying that all my creation, you be obedient to me like your body is obedient to you. Take control of yourself in your hand. Don't do what your mind tells you to do. Your mind should think what you want it to think. Don't follow your likings and dislikings. Dislikings and likings should follow you. Take control of your body in your hand, in your own control, and I will hand over the control of Jannah and Behesht into your hand. Salawat bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. In short, this is what is being. And the starting point is, you know, the signs of Allah. When we see around us, within us, we come to the point that He is the greatest creator of the universe, the infinite one, and He deserves that we should submit to Him. And today's topic is submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The starting point of our deen is submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very important. All the problems that we are seeing among ourselves, leave others. Leave others. Whatever others are doing, we don't care. We, the followers of Ahlul Bayt, must be on a higher elevated level. We need to cure ourselves. We need to look after ourselves. We should be fit, physically, spiritually, mentally, in every sense, to follow the Imam who is just waiting for us to come onto that stage and to reach a level so that he can come back. This is what we need to do. So the first point is submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And my brothers and sisters, 30% submission is not a submission. 80% submission is not a submission. 90% submission is not a submission. Even 99% submission is not a submission. Because submission, it is there or it is not there. 100% submission is required. And the lesser the submission or deficiency in the submission to Allah will result in deficiency in being obedient to Rasulullah. And deficiency in being obedient to Rasulullah will become a deficiency in being obedient to wilayah of Aima Athar alayhi salatu wasalam. That's a perfect rule. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. People will not come to the point of Iman if they don't submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what we need to do. Salawat bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. How? What is submission? How can we submit? You know, when we are young, we submit to Allah. And when we come to the old age, I don't discard the old age. Old age means above 95, for example. All others are young. Everybody's happy. I see too many smiles there. See? After 95, we are old. See, less than 95, it's okay. Young, in Persian, there's a verse. They say, Gurge khuni waqt-e akhir mi shavad parhezgar. Even the ferocious wolf, in his last life, becomes pious. Dar javani tawbe kardan sheva paygambari. In young age, doing tawbah is the sunnah of the prophets. This is what is needed and required. When in young age we come to Islam, we have submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In old age, we have surrendered. Submission and surrender. They seem to be the same thing, but they've got a bit difference among the kids. Submission is with free will. And surrender is when there is no option. Before Fath Makkah, before the conquest of Makkah, the Muslims used to get convinced and they used to submit to Islam. And during the process of the conquest of Mecca, the Muslim army surrendered Mecca and they lit fire in the evening, and the leader of the Mushrikeen of Mecca, Abu Sufyan, comes out to see what the light in the mountains, and he's captured by the Muslim army, brought to the Prophet, and see, he says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Did he submit or did he surrender? What?
He had
He was captured.
He had no option.
He had no option. So he surrendered. And you see what those who submitted to Islam, how did they help Islam? And those who surrendered to Islam, what they did to Islam. Submission is required, my brothers and sisters. And we need to bring this submission to the level of 100% before the last Imam comes. And this is the missing link. In our ibadah, in our prayers, in our everything, we need to come to 100%. Unfortunately, I'm not shy in telling the right things and the truthful things, you know. Our other brothers, even the Takfiris, in their submission to their leader, they are on 100%. Because they will get killed, you know. I said they have surrendered 100%. They have surrendered because they are forced to do that. Otherwise, bullet on the head. They don't have an option. Oh, you didn't do this? Just pull it and gone. We should be 100% on that level, but not surrender like that. We should submit like that to Imam Ali. See, I heard an example of camel from an alim, very beautiful example. Camel is a powerful animal. Camel can live without food and water, without having food and water for how many days? How many? 4 days. 7? 40 days. 40 days. Camel can live without having food and water. It's a very powerful animal. And it stores the food in its stomach and then starts consuming the food that it has stored. 40 days. But have you seen the picture of a caravan of camels? Have you seen the picture anywhere? Caravan. See, the tail of the leading camel is tied to the rope which comes from the nose of the following camel. Have you ever seen that rope being tied? It's not tight, it's always loose. And what if this powerful animal just runs away? It will pluck off the tail of the front camel. But it never happened. Not once it has happened. 100%. This is submission in reality. This is submission. That you tie that rope to the front camel and it will never pull or put the front camel in pain. This is submission. This is what is required from the follower of Ahlul Bayt. Once we do the bay'ah, what we say, Ali Waliullah. Nothing needs to be forced on us. Wilayah of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen will tell us and incline us to do whatever is required from me without somebody forcing me. This is how our life should be, in submission to the Aimah Athar. Otherwise, the rest of us, we have seen sheep and goat. See? You have never seen camel owner having stick in his hand to beat the camel and put them on the right track. But the goats and sheep, you see, you put them here and they go run away to other side. For them, they need a stick, like the Muawiyah and others did. Followers of Ahlul Bayt are not like this. We need to tune ourselves into the reality. I used to hear a story from Shaykh Arif al-Hussaini in his durus of Akhlaq. He said there was a lion cub who grew among sheep, and he took the habit of the sheep. He used to graze in the fields, eat grass, live with the sheep, and everything he was doing was what the sheep used to do. One day he went to have water from a pond, and as he put his head forward, he saw his reflection in the water. He said, "Oh my God, I'm a lion. What I've started doing? I'm living like sheep and goats. I'm not a sheep, I'm not a goat, I'm not supposed to eat grass. I need to go and hunt a sheep and eat meat." He said, our Shias are like this lion. The day they find out the potential in a follower of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, the day they see their real face, they'll come to know what potentials we have got. And that's the day for which Imam al-Zaman is waiting. Ajalallahu ta'ala fadl. And the starting point, leave aside what we have done till today. Tonight, we decide, when we go home, before sleeping, close your eyes and decide that, oh Allah, whatever I have done, whatever my age 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 80, 90, no problem. Oh Allah, you have given me life. Life means a chance to come back to Deen. So if you have given me chance, I want to avail that chance. And from now onward, my likings, my dislikings, my behavior, my attitude, my enmity, my friendship, my life and my death will be for your and your sake only, and governed by your likings and dislikings only. Just do this. And then you say how your du'as are accepted. Do it. No doubt you will see some hardships. 1, 2, 3 weeks, definitely hardships. Don't think that I come to Allah and Allah will say, okay, all Jannah is open. Jannah is in hereafter, not here. This world is like a prison for a moment. You will see hardship, but you will see one more thing. That's the calmness of the heart, which is worth more than millions in this world. Troubles you will see, but with a calm heart, you will see that there is a hand on your head. You will see that the Imam is looking after you. You will see, you will not need to go to Najaf to do the ziyarat, and you will have to see the ziyarat, inshallah, here, inshallah. Salawat wa Muhammad wa alihi. My Imam orders a picture of a lion on the carpet and tell that lion to become a lion, and it becomes a lion. What type of follower am I? I keep on saying this thing and nothing happens. So how am I the follower of Imam? What type of follower am I? I need to come onto the level of a real follower. I need to come onto the level of Misam al-Tammar. Otherwise I'm a loser. Imam, only one Imam was seen by Misam al-Tammar. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, he read that great. We have seen the history and life of 11 Imams. We need to come forward now. Enough is enough. 1400 years we have done enough rest. Now we need to pull up our socks and come forward. Change ourselves. other people from other schools of thought, they are moving forward, they are going here. Syria, everyone from every nook and corner, the Sufyanis are getting together. Where are the followers of Hazrat Zainab? We need to prepare. Don't need to go there, but we need to prepare here. We need to pull up now. Enough is enough, my brothers and sisters. Each one of us need to change ourselves. Our behavior should change. Our attitude should change. And start from submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just do it. Tonight, try. Try what I said and see the Maulana was saying right or wrong. This mad Maulana who sits on the member and tell you different things, stories than you usually hear. Just act on it and see the change. See the change. You won't do a wrong thing then. You won't do a wrong thing. You will say, no, I'm the one who is submitted to Allah now. I'm answerable to the Prophet. I'm answerable to Hazrat Zahra. I'm answerable to Imam Ali. I'm answerable to Imam Zaman Ajalallahu Ta'ala Faraju Sharif. Because of my lack of submission, I keep on doing wrong things and nothing inside me wakes up and tells me, what are you doing? Why? Because I'm not linked there. Imam Ali says, if you do wrong things and you are not caught, you are not put in trouble, you don't see trouble, it's not a point of being happy. It's a point of grief that Allah has taken away His hand from your head. He's left you on your own. Like my son, not listening to me. I tell him, do this, do this. He's not listening. I say, okay, keep on doing whatever you want. I'm not bothered about you. So Allah is not bothered about us. If we do wrong things and Allah is not catching us, He's not turning our ears like this. A mu'min, a follower of Hazrat Zahra, as soon as he does something wrong, he feels somebody is pulling his ear. So what are you doing? You're the follower of Imam. You're the follower of Wilaya. Your duty is not to pray and fast and do zakat and this and that's enough for you. No. She is not the one who goes to Jannah. She is not the one who goes to Jannah. She is the one who takes along with him 25, 30 others to Jannah. We have got a leading role. Where is that leading role? My children are going astray. My daughters are going astray. My family is going astray. My family is breaking up. Where are we? Where are Ahlul Bayt in my life? We need to come back. We need to make a U-turn now. We need to come to Ghadir. Start from Ghadir. Pay allegiance to Imam. Oh Imam, just close your eyes tonight and think that we are in Ghadir and say, the Prophet is saying, Man kuntu mawlahu fahaz aliyun mawla. And I say, Aliyun waliullah from now onward, Ya Ali.
Narai Haidari, Ya Ali.
This is a practical tashayyu. This is the practical Shia faith. I'm not talking about theories. I'm not selling Jannah to you. I'm not saying that just cry and go to Jannah. No way. There are too many Kufans who are crying. No, be prepared for the Imam and go to Jannah. I've heard a story from Kashmir. There was a guy, he used to sharpen his sword all the times. He was sharpening the sword on the stone all the time. And people asked him, what are you doing? Oh, I'm preparing for Imam. And people used to laugh at him. Point to laugh. One day he died. And when he was being buried, before a burial, they do talqeen. And in talqeen, when the Maulana used to say the name of Imam Zamana, he used to sit down in his grave. So with the name of Imam Zamana, if he sits down, what will happen if Imam himself comes? The starting point, I'll again say, my brothers and sisters, I'm not a Wahhabi. I'm not a Shia by chance. My forefathers, we don't have anyone, I'm not a Sayyidi one, but my forefathers, there is nobody who is not a follower of Ahlul Bayt in my whole race. My great-grandfather, they tell us, died with Imam Hussain in Karbala. We belong to the family of Yahya ibn Qasir.
MashaAllah.
So I don't need to clarify anything else. But we need to come into the real tashayyu, the Shia inside me. He should be given life, which starts with submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yesterday we were discussing the difference between the followers of Hussain and the follower of Yazid was that of submission. Hussainis had submitted to Allah and the others not submitted to Allah. Those who don't submit to Allah, sometimes they submit to Muawiyah, sometimes to Abu Sufyan, sometimes to Yazid, sometimes to Saddam, sometimes to the king of Saudi Arabia. Then to every Tom, Dick and Harry we have to submit. And those who submit to Imam don't submit to anyone else. Salawat bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Need to believe in Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You must have heard too much about Tawheed. Today I want to tell you about a different Tawheed. Tawheed of Allah, no doubt, that's a secondary thing. We need to bring Tawheed within ourselves first. Our Tawheed is missing. Our Tawheed is missing. You know, you see sun here, sometimes bright sun shining here. Have you seen that? You put a piece of paper, will it catch fire? Yeah, what do you say? If you put a piece of paper in front of sun, will the piece of paper catch fire? No. Now, take a magnifying glass and focus that sun rays from the diameter onto a point on the piece of paper. Will it catch fire? Yes. See? Our scattered Tawheed makes no difference. My body is somewhere else. My mind is somewhere else. My thoughts are somewhere else. My soul is somewhere else. We need to collect all these things and focus on one Allah. Only then it will light the fire of love and affection for Muhammad wa ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Keep on praying Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I've read 100 rakat of prayers. Oh, Dua Kumel. Yes, Maulana, we finish it in 15 minutes. We finish Dua Kumel. Reading Dua is not a Dua. Dua पढ़ी नहीं जाती, दुआ मांगी जाती है. पढ़ना दुआ और है, मांगना दुआ और है. Prayers, your body, your soul, your mind should be saying Allahu Akbar. I say Allahu Akbar, and then I'm waiting. यार वो सुबारिश वादे किसे दियो पुत्र में नौकरी दुआनी है. Do I trust Allah? Why don't I trust Allah? Because I haven't submitted to Allah. The day I submit to Allah, the day I as an individual submit to Allah, I'll see the fruits of being Islam in myself. We don't need to do zikr and other things to change myself. No. Just linking our own self is important. Just I ask you a small question. We can suppose anything. And we found a piece of metal. It is not gold, but it looks like gold. It weighs like gold. It's soft like gold. Its chemical properties are those of gold. Will it act like gold or not? Think over it. I'm a Maulana, I'm not a scientist, you know. I don't go to college and university. I've been going, but I don't go now, you know. A piece of metal, color like gold, soft like gold, weight like gold. Chemical properties like gold. Will it act like gold, yes or no? No. Who say yes? Those who say yes have passed. If the chemical and physical properties are same, then it will act like gold. What about us? Allah says, before creating Adam, وَإِذَا سَوَّيْتَهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَوْا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. When I create him and blow my spirit into Adam, what you do? All of the angels, they should prostrate to him. Allah didn't order the angels to prostrate before his spirit in Adam. If Allah would have ordered that, today idol worship would have been halal. Because without spirit, without soul, it's just idol, you know. It's just a statue. Allah is saying, my soul. It doesn't mean that portion of Allah. Allah is infinite. You can't take anything out of infinite. You can't add anything to infinite. That's why we say that he is not son to anyone and he don't possess any sons. Because he is infinite. Infinite being can't have a son or he can't be son to anyone. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I put my soul, Allah's soul. But the qualities and attributes of Allah within us, they are, you know, zang laga diya humne usko. Rusty. How do we take off that rust? By zikr. By bringing the qualities and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within us. It's not a fictitious story. In Quran, the time of Hazrat Sulaiman, the Prophet, a bird called Hudhud comes and tells that in Yemen, Bilqis is ruling and she doesn't believe in Allah. She's an idol worshipper. And I'm just cutting the story short. And Hazrat Sulaiman asked his courtiers, can anyone bring the throne and Bilqis to me here? Afraid, a jinn. He stood up, he said, I can bring it in a while, that while you stand up, in the time you stand up, I'll bring the throne and Bilqis queen to you here in the time while you stand up. How much does it take? Maybe 2 seconds? He said, no, I want it quickly. Another one, Quran says, who had possessed the knowledge of some of the knowledge of Quran, not the whole knowledge of Quran. He stood up. He said, I can do that in blink of an eye. How much time the eye takes to blink? You know, older movies, they used to have pictures. And one picture and other picture used to come, take the place in less than 1/3 of a second. Because the blink, 1/3 of a second. So within that time, the other picture used to come and we used to see the movie moving and we didn't see the gap. So he possessed the knowledge from amongst the knowledge of the book. 1/3 of a second from Yemen to Palestine with the throne, the queen of Yemen. And Masumin say that he possessed one of the names, knowledge of Asma'ul Husna of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just one name, knowledge. One portion of knowledge. And he said that Hazrat Isa possessed 2 portions. And he used to say, Qum bi'Iznillah, and the dead one used to rise. And the Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, leaving aside one which is only meant for Allah, rest of all the knowledge is possessed by Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Where we stand today again, a question mark. I'm sorry, brothers and sisters. I have to say these things. All is not well. We need to make everything. We need to change ourselves. We need to fulfill the deficiencies because we are short of time. Takfiris are getting together. As our brother was saying, the world is changing. And the last Karbala is going to be set off. We are living in the era of Kufa now. As the Kufans, they said that, oh Hussain, we are missing you. You should come to us. We are saying, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. See, what if Imam comes? Are we ready? Are we prepared for the coming back of Imam? Are we prepared for that? That we need to do. And these majalis of Imam Hussain are telling us, reminding us that those who are not prepared, when the time comes, what happens to them? What happened in Karbala? Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, before moving to Karbala, what was done? They called him to pay allegiance to Yazid. And what did Imam Hussain say? Does anyone remember the words of Imam Hussain? Imam Hussain never said that I will not pay allegiance to Yazid. मैं Yazid की बैअत नहीं करूँगा. कभी नहीं कहा Imam Hussain ने. मुझ जैसा Yazid जैसे की बैअत नहीं कर सकता. A person like me cannot pay allegiance to a person like Yazid. It's not a matter of Hussain and Yazid. It is a matter of qualities of Hussain and qualities of Yazid. Till the day of judgment. Till the day of judgment. Anyone who possesses a little bit of qualities of Imam Hussain will never pay allegiance to anyone who possesses the qualities of Yazid. And the final battle of Karbala we are heading to. We need to get prepared for that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all with His special blessings in understanding what is need and requirement of the time and fulfilling those needs and requirements and prepare for the coming back of the last Hussain, the last Muhammad, for which the Prophet ﷺ says, Awwaluna Muhammad, wa awsatuna Muhammad, wa akhiruna Muhammad, kulluna Muhammad. We are in reality not waiting for Imam Zamana. We are waiting for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In Karbala, it was not Hussain who was killed. It was Prophet Muhammad who was killed. And in Kufa Masjid, it was not Ali who was hit. It was Prophet Muhammad who was hit. These are all single body. They are all one. They are not different. They are different in body, in physique, in everything. But if Prophet Muhammad would have been in Karbala, he would have done what Imam Hussain did.
Subhanallah.
So all these Imams, they are doing identical. Why? Because their wisdom is on the highest level. Last thing about submission, if I submit to Allah, I'm linked to Allah. You know, blessing of Allah will come on me. If a family, husband and wife, submit to Allah, both of them, they can never go astray. They will never have problems. They have got point of reference where to go. And if the children submit to Allah, the family submits to Allah, unity is there. They will never go astray, never problems. You don't need to compare. You don't need to do counseling. You don't need to have anything else. In families, and families can live together if you submit to Allah. And Muhammad wa ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wa salam. Wa akhiru da'wana an alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. 5 minutes.